All right, let's dive into one of the wildest and frankly strangest chapters in the entire book of Genesis. It's a story packed with family drama, surrogate mothers, some interesting beliefs about plants, and a truly bizarre lesson in how to breed sheep. You're not going to want to miss this. Right out of the gate, the story hits you with this. Rachel, one of the main characters, cries out to her husband, Jacob, "Give me children or else I die." This isn't just melodrama, it's pure desperation. You have to understand, in this culture, for a woman like Rachel, having children wasn't just a nice to have, it was everything. It defined her value, her status, her entire reason for being. And that desperate plea? Well, it kicks off the first major conflict of the chapter, a knockdown, drag-out fight between two sisters, Rachel and Leah. They're both married to the same man, Jacob, and their battlefield is the womb. The prize? Bearing the most sons. So Rachel can't get pregnant, and she is just eaten up with envy watching her sister Leah have son after son with their husband. So what does she do? She makes a tactical move. She gives her personal servant, Bilhah, to Jacob as a kind of surrogate. The idea was any child Bilhah had would legally and culturally belong to Rachel. Well, Leah sees what her sister is up to, and she is not about to let her catch up. Even though Leah already has sons, she'd recently stopped conceiving. So not wanting to lose her lead, she plays the exact same card. She gives her own handmaid, Zilpah, to Jacob. And just like that, the baby race is on. What follows is a quick succession of 4 sons born to the handmaids. But look at the names. This is where the real story is. These aren't just names, they are smack talk, they're declarations of war. Rachel's sons are named Dan, meaning God has judged me, and Naphtali for her great wrestlings with her sister. And Leah's side, she names her sons Gad, like here comes a troop, and Asher, which means happy am I. I mean, they are literally using their children's names to score points against each other. It's intense. Just when you think this family feud can't possibly get any weirder, it takes a sharp turn into the bizarre. The whole conflict starts to revolve around a strange, almost magical plant, and a very unusual bargain. So what on earth are mandrakes? Well, in the ancient world, they were a really big deal. People believed the roots of this plant were powerful, kind of like a super aphrodisiac, or, more importantly for our story, a cure for infertility. So you can imagine, for 2 women who are locked in this high-stakes baby race, getting their hands on some mandrakes would be like finding gold. And this quote, wow, it just lays the tension bare. One day, Leah's son finds some of these mandrakes in a field, and Rachel immediately wants them. And Leah just snaps back with this. You can just feel the years of bitterness in her voice. She's basically saying, you've already stolen my husband's love, and now you want this too? So a deal is made. Rachel is so desperate for those mandrakes and their supposed fertility magic that she trades her scheduled night with Jacob to Leah in exchange for the plants. Think about that. The relationships have become so transactional that even intimacy is just another bargaining chip on the table. And here's the absolute kicker. The ultimate irony? Rachel gets the mandrakes, but who gets pregnant? Leah. She goes on to have 3 more children. It's like the fertility charm worked for the wrong sister. But then, after all this, the story says God finally remembers Rachel, and she gives birth to a son who will change the course of history for their entire family, Joseph. Joseph's birth is a massive turning point. It seems to satisfy Jacob, and the whole focus of the story shifts. We pivot away from the sister-on-sister rivalry and move into a new battle. A battle of wits between our guy Jacob and his scheming father-in-law, Laban. Jacob has now worked for Laban for 20 years, basically in exchange for his wives and a place to live. He decides it's finally time to go out on his own, to build his own wealth. So he goes to Laban and says, "It's time for me to go, pay me what you owe me." This sets the stage for a whole new kind of battle, not over wombs, but over livestock. Jacob makes an offer that, on the surface, sounds absolutely terrible for him. He says, okay, first, let's take out all the speckled, spotted, and brown animals from your flocks. Then, from now on, any new babies that are born with those markings, that's my payment. He's basically betting his entire future on a genetic long shot. Laban, who is a trickster himself, can't believe his luck. He thinks he's getting the deal of a lifetime. So he agrees immediately. But then, to make absolutely sure Jacob gets nothing, he doesn't just separate the multicolored animals, he sends them a full 3-day journey away. There is no way they can breed with the main flock.
Laban is certain he's just pulled a fast one and won.
But Jacob has an ace up his sleeve. And this is where the story goes from just being strange to being truly, truly bizarre, involving what seems like some kind of folk magic for animal breeding.
So get this. Here's Jacob's method. He takes some branches, peels white stripes into them, and then sticks them in the watering troughs right where the animals mate. The text seems to imply that because the animals saw the striped sticks while they were conceiving, their babies came out striped and spotted. Now, obviously, we know that's not how genetics works, so what's really happening here? Is it a miracle? Is it just an ancient belief about how things worked? Or is Jacob a brilliant breeder who's just letting everyone think it's magic?
But here's the secret sauce, the real genius. The magic rods were only half the story. The text slips in a crucial detail. Jacob was only putting the sticks out when the strongest, healthiest animals came to mate. When the weaker ones showed up, he'd take the sticks away. So he wasn't just breeding for color, he was actively selecting for strength. And the result of this clever two-part plan? A complete reversal of fortune. Laban ends up with the weak, solid-colored animals. And Jacob? Jacob builds himself a brand new flock that is not only speckled and spotted, the colors he's owed, but is also made up of the strongest, most robust animals from the original herd.
The outcome was just total, overwhelming success. The Bible puts it about as simply as you can, and the man increased exceedingly. Jacob became incredibly wealthy, with massive flocks, servants, the whole 9 yards. His strange and brilliant plan had completely outsmarted his deceptive father-in-law. And that leaves us with the big question that hangs over this entire wild story. All of Jacob's success, first with his sons and now with his wealth, was it divine intervention? Was God's hand guiding all of this? Or was Jacob just a master strategist, a brilliant underdog who was just plain smarter and more cunning than everyone he was up against? The text never really tells you, leaving you to wonder where faith ends and clever deception begins.